Welcome everyone on today's Metal3 Community meeting. My name is Adam Rosman. I will be your host. Please note that the meeting is recorded. Today is the 10th of May 2023. As usual, we would start with introductions, but I see there are no newcomers in the meeting, so we can skip that. As usual, there are the usual reminders. As I always say, if you feel your organization would benefit by adding itself as an official adopter, you can create a PR and in the Metal3 docs and change the adopters.md file and add your organization. That would help the project greatly. And then the incubation proposal that will be transferred to Google Docs from the current form. When I have some time, I will do it, but it's not priority at the moment. I think I will do it after the PTG. Then there is the PTG project team gathering planning document that we will discuss today, and I will open it soon, so you can find it via that link. So after those reminders, we have few topics to discuss, and the first one is the date for the PTG. I will show the results of the vote. Basically, the conclusion was from all of these votes that next week Monday is the only day when, or like the day when most of the people who voted would be available. I talked with Leonard. He was the only one who said that he won't be there, but even he said that he might catch the first part of the meeting. So next week Monday would be the PTG day. I hope nothing special or like unexpected will happen to me related to the facilitating, because I'm in the middle of moving, so who knows, but I hope nothing will happen. And then the next question is that should we do a small PTG and just do that one day? So because that's important for the topics that we select, because we will have altogether 3 hours. Or should we see the next most popular day and do another day? So do 2 days or 3 days. So I think 3 days is too much. So basically my question is that is one day enough, or should we do it in 2 parts? What do you think?
Maybe a bit hard to say without looking at the agenda, to be honest.
But
our agenda is pretty full, so maybe 2 days is a good idea. They don't have to be close to each other, honestly. We can start with the most interesting topics, then see how it goes, maybe change the format a bit if we have any feedback, and continue, for example, in several weeks. And then maybe once more in several weeks, I don't know.
Yeah, it also works for me.
And while we're here, if you need help facilitating the meeting, I'll be happy to have quite a lot of experience with various team gatherings, meetups, and so on.
Yeah, thanks. It's good to hear. I hope I will be able to, but thanks.
Yep. So in general, thanks. Sorry. In general, I agree with what Dimitri said. Probably we need to look at the topics and decide, because one day I think it's not enough. If I remember well, the list of topics is quite long. Maybe choose like what we think is most important to discuss. And I think like for some things, probably we will have to extend to at least 2 days, or even take 1 or 2 other dates in a month or so. I know that summer is arriving soon, and that means vacation time. So probably not everyone will be available a second time. but at least starting discussions would be useful. And as well for the help if it's needed. I mean, I'm available.
Great, thank you. Yeah, I agree with you that it's too much for one day. I would. I'm just thinking that when would be the good time to designate the next day, because then I think let's not do it in one go. That's a bit too much, I think, to ask people to be there on consecutive days. So we should give some breathing room, in my opinion. But when should we decide the next, like the continuation? Should we do it now beforehand, like designate, I don't know, the 15th is one day, and then select one other and then one other optional, or should we do it when we have finished with the first day and see that how did we progress, and then select the next date?
Do we already have another good date with at least 8 people?
Not this good, not this good. The next best is the six people days. So
then it's probably the best idea would be to allocate for Monday topics that will require the most attendance, and then see if we can have some breakout meetings for maybe fewer people.
yeah,
Generally, we need to be really careful with the agenda, because from my experience, there's several things to take into account. First, things like please review my patch are bad topics for PTG. For every topic, you need to see if there is actually something to discuss, because there are sometimes an ironic PTG items like, let's do this. Yeah, let's do this. And then just there's no discussion. And on the other side, things like things that are only of interest for only a few people who probably not going to be of interest for everyone else. They're also not great candidates, because there will be like 2 people talking and everyone else just watching YouTube in parallel.
yeah. Okay. We will discuss the topics soon. That's my next agenda point. But if I would just go back to the dates, so Monday is one date. So you mentioned that let's put everything to Monday that requires the most attendance, and then I didn't catch it. Are you suggesting that then on Monday should we decide the smaller attendance dates, or already right now designate some from
Probably a
these?
good idea. It's probably a good idea to do it last thing on Monday, or even on the Wednesday's meeting that follows. So on the 17th, for example, that could also work. Like at that point, we already know how much we discussed, how quickly we discuss things, and then we can make another call.
Yeah, I actually like it, because then we don't dilute the agenda. We can do the date discussion separately on the weekly. Yeah, for me that works. So I like that idea. Anyone else? Any opinion?
Sounds good.
Okay, then based on this feedback, and you can yell during the meeting if you still have something related to that, just call out. Based on this, I will send an email probably tomorrow. Today I won't have time, but tomorrow to the community about the Monday date, and then also I think the Zoom link, I think we will use the same Zoom link as the link for the weekly. That should work. And then I will write that the next date will be discussed on the Wednesday community meeting. Great. I go back to the agenda. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for the note. And then decision on PTG topics. And for that, I have to bring up the agenda for the PTG. So we have quite a lot of things here. And let's see who has voted. Just quickly let me, like Dimitri, you voted with your plus signs. I didn't want to vote because that would a bit. I'm not sure I should vote or not on this as someone who is facilitating, but I guess I can. So yeah, the branching was one for me. And actually quite a lot of folks have not voted. So I think because of time limitation, so we already spent 40 minutes. I would again ask everyone to vote. I will vote myself too. And after, like when we are on Monday, I will just pull all of those that once have the most votes. We don't need to like individually discuss them right now. I will just automatically on Sunday evening just put forward all of those, or on Monday that got the most vote, and I will just order them and we will start. Yeah, so please vote on this.
So there may be another topic to add there also, which is, I think, well, maybe not super big, but it's still interesting, and it's something that came out in different occasions actually, and downstream, and now I see there's also a push upstream, which is pinning the OS base images with a specific hash. And also, so there's actually a PR that was opened to do that, but I added a comment basically saying that probably it's a topic that needs to be discussed, and to extend that, also considering pinning ironic versions, and looking into switching to, possibly, again, needs to be discussed, but switching to building the ironic image from source code instead of using RPMs. I know it's different topics, but they are kind of all related because of the pin point. So I don't know if you will have time this Monday for the PTG, but it's probably something that we need to start discussing. At least it's again, I see there was already a PR for the base image, and well, it's an important topic.
But kind of falls out to be a more branching topic, right? Especially the part about pinning ironic. Because I mean, it's not directly the same, but when we discussed releasing components on the recent Metal3 docs proposal by Toma, that was one of the things, right? We can branch things, we can branch even ironic image, but ironic is not pinned there. So every time we rebuild something, we get new ironic.
Yeah, exactly. It's actually connected to that as well. Like if we decide to, like if we're going to branch the ironic images or other components, we need to decide also if we want that, like this is connected also because we need to also think about probably pinning the version of the software that we're using, because whenever we rebuild the image, even if it's branched, it's going to take the RPMs, and if we have new RPMs, for example, it will not build the same image.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably care less about DNS mask and HTTPD as much as I care about ironic.
But yeah. Well, of course, I'm talking mainly about ironic and all the related libraries. So
So I have a feeling we have the first topic for the first hour of the PTG is branching everything.
Yeah.
Release management, branch management, all this one overarching topic.
Yeah, that's in itself a big topic. Yes. Okay. I also, now that I was on KubeCon and I had some discussions downstream, I also came across lately with stuff like new features, feature ideas or requirements that could be interest to the community. For example, generating network config files, so network data files that we already do. We generate network data files for Cloud Init. Based on, for example, we can use IPAM here too, that you probably all know, but I have seen situations where actually folks were interested about like automatically generating or like specifying not just these simple IP addresses, but bonds, so link aggregation and also VLANs and also VLANs on top of bonds. So linked VLANs based on aggregated interfaces, which are all supported by this this format, this network data format. So support for that would I guess also be something that is generally useful. I don't know if I should add it to the PTG agenda, or what is your opinion about that?
So word of caution, a PTG does not necessarily replace a written specification. So there is a subtlety here, right? If you want to discuss a crazy idea and you know it's going to be contentious, PTG is probably a good place. If you have a design in your mind and you want to explain to people, doing it in voice is going to be problematic. So writing it down may be a better thing, and then just presenting at the meeting. In the end, it's up to you, up to your common sense. But yeah, this is something from my experience this is important to consider, because we already had past experience, like people came into this meeting and doing a 20-minute long presentation and their new idea. And then the idea essentially dies out because people listen to presentation, know they say, and there was nothing out of it. So be careful with that.
So if I understand you correctly, you say that this is better for basically not arguing, but as you mentioned, like discussing topics where we have a differing idea rather than like a feature proposal, like
That's basically what I'm saying. Yes. Like take the branching topic. We all have opinions about branching. There's a lot of controversy to what should be doing, what should not be doing, RPMs versus source. We definitely expect argument. Your idea sounds interesting. I mean, my first reaction is, yeah, pretty cool. But I cannot really say, yes, we are going to do that without seeing details. So not just for you, general advice for people here. If you have a feature idea you want to discuss, writing it down is a very good first step. It can be a design proposal to Metal3 docs. It can be a mailing list post. It can be just a Google Doc really with your idea. But if you just come with an idea to a voice meeting, be it the PTG or this meeting, chances are high people just, nah, it's interesting. I need to think about it, and then never think about it.
yeah, that's good that you mentioned. I can completely see the point. Yeah. Okay. Then I will probably go that route and try not to forget that I've seen this thing and did some work with that. Okay. Good. We discussed how to vote. and then when will I organize these or sort them into an order? And then you mentioned that what is the good way of thinking about if someone has still have some idea about a new topic. I would say feel free to add it. If in the meantime, until Monday, something comes to your mind, I would guess the only thing that you can do is add it and then send a mail about it on the mailing list and the message on the Slack channel. And we will see how many people we will be interested. But of course, because we will have other dates, it might be that others will vote for that topic also for the next occasion. So I don't see any issue with that. But then I would add a issue that is probably in the controversial topic, and we can discuss this. It is a style guide for yes in so it's pretty self-explanatory. We had discussions about styles and we have automated checks, but I guess we still don't have any official like baseline guides on how to style Bash, how to style Go, how to style Ansible. Like we don't really ever, at least I haven't seen anything that would discuss our styles, because it would be nice to unify this across projects or across the repos in the project. I will just add this and we can discuss it.
Yeah, I'll write my comments to that. I have some thoughts, but I wanted to highlight the item I see on screen, which is not the one you're typing. Let's use the project board to have a public roadmap. That's it has a lot of votes, so I'm afraid you're gonna add it to the agenda, but maybe we just do that, like literally after this meeting, or let's just do that. Really, let's not discuss it. Let's just have it.
Add what? Add all the topics or add or just
Yeah,
create?
I'm talking about a specific topic. It's on the bottom of your screen. Please don't scroll, then you lose it. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, let's use a project board. Let's use it. Let's create it and use it. Do we have a contention around this, or just do it?
Okay. But I agree with you. Let's just do it. But then the discussion could be about that how to use it properly, because I myself I understand the general idea that there are milestones and then PRs are tagged for the milestone, but in depth I never used it in like in an open source project. Never managed it. So could we have the discussion about how to use it properly, or what do you think, or just make it and then so I'm not entirely sure what's the good way of using that.
We could discuss that. I'm not sure anyone is really sure, because I personally haven't seen Google GitHub ports. I assume it's something similar to Jira, with cards moving across columns. But okay, we can discuss that, but we need to do some homework before we can discuss it. So I suggest maybe we actually enable it like today. Whoever has admin rights can probably do that, and then take a look how it even looks.
Okay, I'm fine with that. Great. Okay. I don't know if I have admin rights for that. I don't remember. Is it for project level or for repo level? It's for
That's one
project,
of the
right?
things I didn't know.
I think it's for project. And that's my last memory. Well, I will check.
Yeah, I should have admin rights. So if you tell me where to click, I can click there.
I don't know it either.
Probably take a look in parallel.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, it's project level. It's project. I mean, for me, there is new project, so it just have to be created.
Okay,
And,
interesting.
don't really know. I will do something. I don't know if it will be useful, but okay. I changed the name. I guess it changed the name. So if I go from this, yeah, I made a Metal3 project. Yeah. Oh, and it's private, so I have to make a copy, close the project. Interesting. It makes it into private. 1 second, I will stop because we have a lot of things. Just
Yeah, I can see it, but it's probably an admin.
template. Yeah, I cannot make it visible. So it's probably someone who has higher privileges could look
Yeah,
into.
I can do that. Yeah, I've just set it as public.
Cool. Nice. Thanks.
Now we should probably read some docs before coming to the Monday meeting and like, what do I do here?
Yeah. But it was good experience. We managed. Thanks. Okay. So if anything comes to your mind, write it down, send an email, then other folks will be able to vote on it, and otherwise just vote and we will discuss the topics on the PTG. Okay, thanks. Then some info for you, or like not info, it's actually a PR. The removal of V1 Alpha 5, like the API functionality itself from the CAPM tree. This is a PR from Kashif, and I think Kashif, you are now here, so you can talk about it.
Yeah, so I have opened up this issue. Can you hear me, by the way?
Yes.
Yeah, so this issue is somewhat a follow-up of the same, which is the V1 Alpha 4 API version removal of CAPI. The idea is that since it has been out of support for quite long, and CAPI is removing its deprecating first it in the CRDs and then removing it in the subsequent releases. So I have also tried to put up a roadmap of what is the plan for that and when we are going to remove in which release. And I have also tried to give some more detail on what would be the task for each different release upcoming. So I think please just go through the issue, and if you have any opinion, write it down. It would be good. Otherwise, this is pretty self-explanatory. I have put in all the details that we would be doing during this process. Thanks.
Yeah, I have a question. Are we removing the upgrade from V1 Alpha 5 as well?
At the end of it, yes. If you see at the last MISC part, I have the tasks where we need to document the test coverage, and also the update would be then after the v1.7 release of CAPM3, we won't be having any upgrade from Alpha 5 API to the latest.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
No worries.
Thanks. I will actually write like then. Yeah, and then outreach updates from Ricardo.
Yeah, thank you. Just wanted to announce. So we already announced the intern in the Slack channel, but I just wanted to do it again here. So the intern that has been chosen is Salima Rabiu. She's from Nigeria, and well, she did a great job during the application period, and we're very happy to have her. We've been discussing on Slack with her and by email. And well, the official project will start on May 29, on Monday, May 29. But in the meantime, she's going to work a little bit with some issues on the website, like some missing links, stuff like that, and learning some stuff about the Metal3 project in general. And well, that's all basically. So I expect to see her starting the official work on May 29. Thanks.
Great, thank you for your work in this outreach, and I'm very curious that what sort of how to say projects will you provide for what was her name again, please?
The name is Salima Rabiu.
Okay, so can you just in one or two sentences mention that have you figured out already that what will be like the work, or are you?
Yes,
yeah.
Actually I thought it was made public already. Probably it's not. So in the outreach site, I'm going to retrieve the project directly from there, but there's a Metal3 section where we put the details about the project. It's like a rework of the Metal3 site, but I'm going to provide the link with the information. Let me see if I can find it now. Otherwise, I'm going to put it in the doc. Yeah, I will add it to the to this week meeting notes, so you can all see the details about the project.
Yep, thanks, thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, and then again, something that we discussed with Kashif, the next up one is just we are dropping support for planning to drop support, and this means backporting and backporting security features for v1.1 release of CAPM3, and also to the 1.2, and for 1.1 we plan to disable the CI also. And then Kashif just, I think, pasted here the support and guarantee section proposal from the contribution guide. Or actually, it's a PR. Yeah, it's a PR. It's just a like
it's a
version.
PR. So just wanted to like highlight there might be, because we don't have any defined guideline that when are we dropping support for something or why, and so that's why trying to make this a bit more logical. So this text would actually have this, like, when a new release is happening, how long would we be actually supporting the older ones, and those sort of things would be a bit more visible in this page. So please review this as well. And as Adam said, as a part of this first process, we would be actually dropping support for the release 1.1 for CAPM3, also taking down the CI. But for 1.2, the support will be dropped, but the CI would still be running. And all of these details are written here, that what would happen in a future release as well.
And I guess we can say that this is based on the example of CAPI. So
Yeah, this is based on an example of CAPI, and also something that probably in future, if we see like this is something that we can also leverage in BMO. So it was something that that would be first established here in CAPM3, and if we see benefit from this one, we can also leverage the similar sort of strategy for BMO as well.
great. Does anyone have any comments to these API and support changes? No? Great. We can continue then. And there is the bare metal host API V1 B1, and this is this is a proposal. And I already have a question quickly related to this. And the question is that how come it's beta? I'm just curious that how come it's not alpha 2 but already beta?
So I take a look at what Kubernetes means by alpha, and they mean something like, okay, it's purely experimental, never use in production. We're gonna break every month, just no guarantees. And that doesn't feel like that's what we are doing. We use that in production. We pretty reasonable about stability guarantees. We don't have bugs on every corner. Like, we are not alpha really.
I suspected something like that, but I was trying to find like how the versioning, like how the alpha and beta differs. I was looking into, but I haven't found it. But thanks for explaining. It's not clearer. Okay. Do you want to talk about it? I have read it, but do you want to talk about it for others, or should everyone just basically read it because it's self-explanatory, the proposal?
I can just do a short introduction. I don't suggest we read it aloud, but that's a proposal to have a new V1 Beta 1 API. And as part of this proposal, I want to do some changes that can be considered breaking, which is MD5 removal. I mentioned it last time that Ironic is going to remove that. As part of this change, the default meaning of absent checksum type. Currently, we default to MD5, we should not. Then we have this hardware details as part of BMH status. We were going to migrate that to a new CR, and this new CR already exists, it works. So it's time to remove things. And I think I proposed some renaming, pretty minor, but which happened as a result of recent discussions. So there's not like a ton of changes I want to do, but there are some changes I would like to do when we create this new version.
Big +1. I haven't gone through it, but the idea is big +1. I think it's long overdue. Thanks for putting this up.
Yeah, me too, and thank you. Is there anyone else who want to say something about it? Okay, if not, then that was the agenda. And then we would do triaging. I already did pre-triaging and I went through most of these. and there are just a few new stuff. So these first three is not interesting, and then we have this one. This is this save host status triggers even on unchanged objects.
Yeah, I wanted to take a look. I didn't have time for that.
Okay. Yeah, and you were tagged. I won't accept this because I have no experience with this value or this specific case. Okay, we can leave it. Next one is what Kashif mentioned, and I have not heard any objections, so I will just LGTM it. We already discussed this. Oh, not LGTM, but it's already too late today. So I don't remember. Okay. If this is accepted, and then let's clear this. And there is one from BMH. I haven't seen it in the morning, but it's something very new. When creating BMH, the image field is set, which may cause the machine to fail to choose the BMH.
What?
Yeah, I don't understand.
Yes.
Can you
sure.
zoom that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. When the creating image, the image field is set. Okay.
It feels like they're misunderstanding what image is doing and maybe not realizing that image is a request for provisioning and then machine has to be free.
I set the image field when I create the BMH.
I think they are wrongly setting, if they're using the CapM3 workflow, the image field should be set on a Metal3 machine, and that would in turn select a free BMH and set the image field there. They don't need to do it on the BMH itself.
Yeah, exactly. Probably misunderstanding. Maybe they have something missing in the docs to make them realize that.
Okay. Sorry, I was just sneezing. Okay, let's continue. The last one is where to install the dev environment due to timeout in one of the kubectl commands. Okay, this is dev. Oh yeah, this can happen. What is the proposal to solve this? Let's go. Okay, so this is already under review. And what is the solution? Wait. Okay, it's parameterized. I'm fine with this. Are you? So that person says that on the setup that is used, 5 minutes is not enough. It was hard coded, and now the proposal makes it configurable. I'm fine with this.
Yeah, it looks reasonable.
Yep, looks good.
Let's just go and edit. Oops. Oh, not that. Great. And I think that was all. We triaged all of them. Yes. Okay. And then let's check the stale and we can finish because I checked everything else. I don't remember this.
Yeah, I've seen it a few times, but I never had time to pursue it further. So I guess I'll just leave the bucket and let it rot. And if somebody wants to pick it up at some point, they can always find it.
Should we set it to frozen or should we let it expire?
I'm fine with letting it expire, to be honest.
Okay, me too. If there are no objections, we will leave it like this. This is no support for boot. Oh yeah.
That's a feature request,
Yeah.
which is going to involve a lot of design work and a lot of testing, and not something any of us can do, I guess.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how active the original issue creator is.
So I seem to recall there was a Metal3 docs design proposal, but I doubt it got a lot of traction, and maybe it's still as well.
There is the no, this is not that. It's not linked here at least. Or is it this? This is
But that's probably the thing, yeah.
yeah, but this now got closed. Yeah, you moved it to test. It has rotten away. It could be that the original reporter has lost interest in this. Should we froze the topic or like froze the close the issue or just let it go away? Because
I guess that's a good policy question. What we do with feature requests that we're not going to work on immediately?
Well, so far the ones that I have found, some of them I froze. There were a few in the frozen that are old feature requests, but those were all things that I know that someone in the community mentioned that at some point we might work with that on that. But what comes from external folks who are not coming to meetings, not active anymore, not sure. Yeah, I would freeze it, honestly, the idea itself.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. And that's it. That was all. Is there any question, suggestion, anything related to the meeting or to the PTG? If not, then thank you for your time, and let's see each other on the PTG, and have a nice rest of the day. Bye bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.